Hello everyone, it's Ron from Ron Carter Photography, and today I'm going to give you a brief on how I do some of my editing. Okay, we're going to start with Capture One. I already have it open, so I'm going to click on it. This is the photo that we're going to be working on today. It's a corporate headshot, so if you can notice, the hair here is quite extensive, and it would take a long time to painstakingly go through and get rid of all these little these hairs. So what we're going to do, I'm going to show you how I want to do it. My first step always is I go and I do a white balance, and I guess since he's got a white shirt on, it's right now at 5696 Kelvin. So we're going to click on it. Boom, it brings it down to 5615. That's a good starting point. Now, next thing I always do is go over to here. Crop it down. As you can see, I've already done that, so cropping is good. Bring it up. And from here, what we're going to do, I'm going to take the curve. And what I always do is I take the curve and I look at the image of what I decide I want to do with it. That's too red for me. Film, no. Auto, no. So what I normally do is go to the portrait mode. Okay, now that being said, now what I do is from here is I go to layers and I go to dehaze, and we're going to see what happens when we dehaze this a little bit. And we're going to bring it about right there. That looks pretty good. Now you can see all these little white specks that I got in the background on his jacket. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go hit the healing, and we're going to clean that up a little bit. So this is just a quick editorial on how I do my editing. It may be helpful to some people. And as you can see, I cleaned some up here before on this photo, and we'll just go ahead and click that and get rid of it and bring it down a little bit. We don't want his lips right there. There's another one. Good. Okay, so we've cleaned it up a little bit. Click on the arrow. It looks pretty good. Up, I see one spot that I didn't get, and it's right here. You know, you can also do this in Photoshop, and I work between the two. I work between Photoshop and I work between Capture One. So now we're going to click on here. Now I'm going to right click and I'm going to hit edit with Photoshop. Hit edit variant at 300 DPI. Takes a minute for it to come up. Okay, so now I'm going to just go ahead and I'm going to take the photo, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to Control and plus in Photoshop and bring it up. Now I'm going to reduce the screen down so I can have room. So you can see a little bit more of what I'm doing. There we go. Okay, I'm going to unclick it. I'm going to leave. I'm going to rename this to BG. I just make it very quick so I can know where I'm standing. Okay, now from here, click on it again, and what I'm going to do is Control J. 1, 2, 3, 3. Okay, so I got a copy of the primary. I can name them whatever I want to. I'm just going to leave them BG, copy 1, 2, and 3 because so I know what I'm doing. I'm going to hit Control, click onto 3, then Control G, bring it to a group. Okay, now what I'm going to do from here, the top 2 layers, and this is a type of frequency separation, but if you notice all the hair and things that we have going on in here, well, we're going to get rid of a lot of that by using this technique. So what we're going to do is here, we're going to go to filter, and let me see, click on it again, go to filter, and then we're going to go to noise. From here we're going to medium. Okay, click OK. Now, we have this right here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to add a mask to it. I'm going to control, sorry about that. I'm going to control and I to invert it. Go to a brush tool. Okay. On the brush tool, I set the opacity for about 60 to between about 40-60%, so I can work my way up. This is going to be a quick tutorial, so it's going to be a little aggressive. So then what I do is when I'm going to start going in, and you can see what it's doing, it's beginning to clean the skin right here. I'm going in, smoothing the skin out. I think I can get rid of that right there like that. Okay. Again, like I say, this is a quick tutorial. I try to leave some of the features in, not trying to go over the nostrils too much. This is a type of frequency separation. And you can see this, like I say, and you can use it to your own judgment on how you want to proceed with it, how much or how little. But you can see what it's doing to the skin and how much of a difference it made in just that point. I still see all the hair here. So what I'm going to do is bring this up to the edge and bring it down, trying to get this, smooth this out. I know there's other techniques. I'm just showing you a quick technique of what I do. Let's move this out a little bit. Okay. Right click, bring it down the sides, go around the top of the eyebrows and the eyelids, make sure I get it all. And there we go. Going through here a little bit. Now you can see how that smoothed the skin out. Now I'm going to go to the next layer up, background 2. Okay, now what I'm going to do from here, right click on it, and I'm going to hit filter again. I'll go to blur, Gaussian blur. This is set for 45%. Hit OK. Now, from here, what I'm going to do is add another masking layer. Control I to invert it. Now, make sure that you're using white. Your brushes are set on white for this. Now, what I'm going to do is see, I'm at 46%. So I'm going to start smoothing out some of these dark edges in here and make it look a little bit better. I'm going to bring my brush up a little bit to maybe 120. So I'm going to start going in and start smoothing out some of these shadows. And you can see what happens. Evening out some of the shadows. And like I say, this is a quick tutorial. I don't want to spend hours on doing this. And we'll go in, bring this up to the edge here, and try to smooth some of this out here. Okay. You might go around the eye a little bit to even some of the tone out. Okay, so that looks a little bit better, a little bit smoother. Now you can see how it took away a lot of the hair on the face. So we're going to go in and work a little bit more on this gentleman. Okay. Okay. So you can see where we stand right now. Now, if you wanted to, you could actually go back and bring your brush up a little bit, and it gives it kind of a painty look, but you can take and actually go in, and you see the fibers here in the jacket. Just go in, make sure you go in the direction of the fabric, and kind of smooth it out a little bit. You know, give it a little bit painterly look, a little bit more dramatic. Okay, so we did that just to do a little change up. Now we're going to go click on the top layer, the copy number 3. From here, what we're going to do is we're going to go to Filter, Other, High Pass. Make sure this is set to 12.5, like so. Then we're going to go down right here where it says Normal. The lighting, what we're going to do is bring it down to Vivid Light. Okay, look how much of a difference that made so far. Now, you can still see the hair. Now what we're going to do is we're going to add a masking layer. Okay, Control I again. Now, I'm going to bring the size of the brush up, and we're going to take the opacity still. I'm going to leave it, for demonstration purposes, I'm going to leave it at 46%. And we're going to start bringing back some of the detail in the skin for this gentleman. And you can see how much I don't want to bring it back too much. Okay. Now, as you can see, the hairs come back. So what we're going to do is I'm going to bring down the opacity to try to get rid of a lot of that facial hair, and that saves a lot of work, having to go through and remove all the hair in Photoshop. But anyway, so I'm going to reduce the opacity, the size of my brush down, make sure I bring some detail out in the eyebrows and the details of the face. You know, normally I would go in, and you can actually do it this way. Go to the healing brush, bring the size down, and just clean it up just a little bit where you think you could. There was a spot right here. Now clean that up. A little spot there. A little spot on his nose. Okay, that cleaned it up a little bit. Okay, so now we're back in here, and you can play with the opacity. You can on the high pass filter, you can bring it up a little bit or down, how much you want. Okay. Same thing for the blur. I think I'll bring it about 40%. And look at the median. See the difference from before? Bringing it up. I'll bring it up some and look at it now. And that's different. I think that looks pretty good. Okay, so I'm just going to click X. Hit save as a PDSD. PSD rather. Okay, so now we're back in Capture One, and let me reduce it down a little bit so we can see where we're at. So here was the original, and here's the after. What a difference it makes. You can see from here to here the difference. Okay. I'd like for you to make comments and share if you like it. If there's any suggestions that you have on how I can do things differently. And like I say, what I do is I work between Capture One, the newest version, and actually the newest version of Photoshop. My name is Ron from Ron Carter Photography, and I hope you guys really enjoyed it. And make sure you like and subscribe below, and we'll see you on the next video.